Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the August 25th, 2026 San Marino Unified School District Board of Education regular meeting. This evening, I have no report from closed session. And now I'd like to open our open session at 7:06 p.m. Call to order with a roll call, please. Mr. Chang?
Here.
Mr. Sung?
Here.
Ms. Lamb? Here. Mrs. Ryan?
Present.
Mrs. Gill here, and student board member Vanessa Estrada.
Here.
Welcome. Now I'd like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. If everyone will please stand and face the flag. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Okay, approval of agenda. Before receiving a motion to approve the agenda, I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda as follows. Pull the consent item 10L and place it under action items. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
Move to approve.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you. Lamb, Mr. Chang. Roll call. Mr. Chang?
Aye.
Mr. Sung?
Aye.
Ms. Lamb?
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan?
Aye.
Mrs. Gill? Aye. Approval of minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the 8/11/26 regular board meeting minutes?
Move to approve.
Thank you. Second, please.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Sung. Roll call. Mr. Chang?
Aye.
Mr. Sung?
Aye.
Ms. Lamb?
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan?
Aye.
Mrs. Gill? Aye. And student board member Estrada?
Aye.
Thank you. Public comment. The Board of Education has adopted Board Policy 9323B to ensure the public's right to be heard in any matters pertaining to the San Marino Unified School District. Persons who wish to provide public comment will have 3 options to submit public comments. 1, submit through an online form. Did we have any submittals?
We had no submissions today.
Thank you. 2, request to speak during the meeting via Zoom. Mr. Wong, please pause the meeting for 1 minute to collect public comments.
The 1 minute starts now. Communications from the audience regarding matters not on the agenda or items in the information, consent, or action sections, please provide your comments now. If you would like to request to speak, please use the raise hand icon to make a request. If you are calling in from home, please dial *9 to make a request, or please submit a public comment card. There are 35 seconds left. We have 2 attendees wishing to speak.
Okay.
Okay, first attendee, Nadia, please state your name and address. You have the mic.
Oh, there we go. I unmuted. Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Awesome. Nadia Tadmori, address is 1125 Rosalind Road, San Marino.
Please go ahead. You have up to 5 minutes.
All right. Hi guys. I wanted to address the petition that is circulating to reinstate the lockers. When it reached me, I'll be honest, I was like, oh, okay. Not because I feel that parents shouldn't advocate for their children. It's because the way it was escalated. I said that I didn't want to sign it. I didn't like that it came to me because, quote unquote, you know a lot of people and you can get some signatures. I see that a petition with roughly 300 signatures and people that don't have children being asked to sign it, people that, don't have children at the school being asked to sign it, at this point, what are those numbers actually measuring? If we're intentionally recruiting people with no direct connection to the issue simply to increase the signature count, that feels like less like it just seems like they're trying to influence the outcome. Anyway, I think that there's been some questions raised about the district's decision, and if the backpacks are heavy and children, are discomfort, and it's heavy, I get that, and there's solutions to that. I just don't really agree with the way it's being done. And I want to remind, everyone in the community, just because you sign a petition, you didn't sign a contract. Let's have a dialogue. Let's think about what it is that we want to provide for our kids, and can we do better than this for them, San Marino? I know we can. We can teach our kids how to advocate for themselves, because 300 signatures may be impressive, but are any of them students? Because I can get people to sign, their name on a piece of paper, but let's teach our kids to advocate for themselves and say, we do have a student body, and it's not a popularity contest. You actually got a job to do. So how about we talk about solutions? Because change is something people always have to adapt to. The change is there's no lockers now. So now we got to figure out how we're going to move forward. And, go to the principal and say, can we have a powwow? She's very open. She's easy to talk to, and say, look, this is what's going on here. And maybe if an accommodation needs to be made, it needs to be made. But it's not the Lewis and Clark expedition. It's going from one class to another. You're not rebuilding the pyramids. They went from backstraps a long time ago to sacks, to rucksacks, to backpacks. I mean, we're going to carry books, And today at PTA, I was happy to hear suggestions from both sides. Some people are like, maybe the lunch line can be shorter and they can not have to bring a lunch, and they'll have extra time to have lunch if the lunch line was shorter. And that's nice. Hey, what if, or how about we? But it wasn't a demand. It wasn't, we need you to reverse this decision or else we're going to be doing X, Y, and Z. I implore San Marino we can promote dialogue with one another. And it would be, I'm telling you, the kids will carry that on with them in life more than these backpacks if we can teach them that. And they're eager to learn. They're eager to figure out how to to problem solve. And if it's a security issue too, boy, that's a sharp and double-edged sword for the district, for anybody. Okay, let's say there was something in a locker or whatever, and you guys knew about it. We removed the lockers. You didn't, or you chose not to remove the lockers, and something happened in the future. The same people that are signing petitions are going to say, can you believe they didn't have the opportunity to remove the lockers and they didn't? And they knew that there was safety risks in the past? But it's not about so much trying to please everybody, because that can't be done. I get it. There are people that are playing sports. Oh, my son has a basketball or a baseball bag and it's heavy. I was a school photographer for 3 years. I see you guys giving each other all these signatures. I've seen your kids. They all give each other piggyback rides all day long. If they can carry a human body, they can carry a backpack. But let's try to figure out the solution of how we can make it an easier transition for them. And just be glad we don't have a bunch of hockey playing tuba players, because then we'd have to accommodate everybody's locker to fit everything. But anyway, I just know that we can promote a better dialogue than sign this, and let's make them reverse. Let's make them. We got to get out of that head of we got to make people do stuff. We got to promote conversation, because, we're better than that, San Marino. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Bernice, please state your name and address.
Hi, Bernice Ding, address 1365 Bellhaven Street. I'd like to have another representative, Ashley Du, who's in the Zoom, to speak as well. Is it possible for her to be unmuted?
Yes.
Thank you. Good evening. This is Bernice Ding and Ashley Du. We are here again to emphasize the issue of plastic pellets and climate change and the importance of bringing a plastic pellet resolution to the San Marino Unified School District.
The resolution calls for SMUSD to recognize plastic pellet pollution as a climate priority and to explore practical actions within the district's authority, specifically through climate literacy and education.
That makes this proposal especially compatible with the work SMUSD is already doing. The district has a Green and Sustainable Schools program, and this resolution would build upon that foundation by bringing greater attention to plastic pellet pollution and climate literacy.
This resolution has received support from Earth Echo International Youth Ambassadors, California's Against Waste, the Last Beach Cleanup, and other environmental organizations, and also more than 850 public supporters.
There's also a growing support from San Marino students. As the president of Green Club, we have noticed a growing interest among our members in taking action on environmental issues, especially after the wildfires from last year. Many students have expressed their willingness to support this resolution.
Over the past few months, we have edited our resolution and created supplemental educational materials. With the help of Napa Valley students who passed a similar resolution in their own school district, we were able to strengthen ours. We have shared the PDF of the resolution and supporting document with citations to the SMUSD board email address.
So we respectfully ask the board to continue considering this resolution, whether that means bringing it back for discussion, reviewing it with the staff, or determining modifications that would make it feasible and helpful for SMUSD.
We believe that plastic pellets are not just a pollution problem. They are a climate, health, and justice issue. Thank you for your time and for considering our proposal.
Thank you so much. If there are no more Zoom commenters, I'll move on to the third. The third way to make a public comment is to request to speak during the meeting in person via the public comment card. I have received 5 public comment cards, and I would like to start with Blair and Waverly Scalise. You guys each pulled a card, so you can decide who wants to go first. Or, all right, yes, please come to the podium and state your name and address, please, and then your topic.
Great. Hi, my name is Blair Scalise. I live at 800 Winthrop Road in San Marino, and I'm just here tonight to say thank you and provide our family's support for removing the lockers at HMS. I know that the decision took a lot of people by surprise. I was even a little skeptical when I heard about it because I know my daughter had spent a lot of time decorating her locker. She spent 3 years at HMS. I have a son who's a 7th grader at HMS. So as a 4th year PTA member and family member within the community, I was honestly a little unsure. In the 8.5 days that we've gone through this no locker situation, I've just been thrilled by the amount of changes we've had for our family. I don't have to buy ant spray as part of, it's like the #1 thing on the list for back to school supplies because there was always an ant problem in the lockers and we'd have to do 2 or 3 rounds of Zevo. Sometimes it'd take us 2 weeks to move into our locker because the ants had taken over the summer. Just the amount of stress that I no longer have to deal with. My kids get sick sometimes. So having to come back to school, get a pass from the office, be escorted to the locker, get school supplies when my kids are homesick for a few days and need to make up schoolwork. The thought of not having to do that anymore at HMS thrills me. Also, the number of trips that I've had to make back to school at 4 o'clock in the afternoon because I forgot this in my locker, or oh shoot, I left that assignment in my locker, have to double back and take time out of our busy schedule. Not having to do that again either, I'm really celebrating that, so thank you. But first and foremost, knowing that we took a potential, small but potential security risk off of the district's hands, off of our students' hands, off of our families' hands, makes me feel so much better. I know we had a very unfortunate potential incident last year, and knowing that a potential threat inside the lockers was one of the main issues, and then the amount of time and effort and energy and city resources and stress that went into that incident, knowing that that is one thing that's completely taken off of our plates from here on out is something that, you can't put any amount of money on that. So I just wanted to say thank you guys very much. And we look forward to very open, free-flowing halls at HMS for the next few years.
Thank you so much. Waverly Scalise?
Should I introduce myself?
Yes, please
Okay.
introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Waverly Scalise. I also live at 800 Winthrop Road, and I'm also here to address the locker problem. I also was a student at HMS for all 3 years, and I wish I didn't have to go to my locker because, you're trying to get to class. It's a 5-minute passing period, and you're trying to scramble to do your code, but then sometimes you mess it up because you're trying to hurry and get to class, and that would make me late a lot of times, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. And the lockers were really big and bulky, so they just stick out on both sides of the wall, and everybody's trying to cram and get to their classes. That would create such a huge traffic jam, And it was such a pain because you're getting bonked and hit, and it just was not fun. And I know backpacks can become really heavy because of the textbooks, but Clever has like almost all of the textbooks online now, and almost all the teachers have classroom copies. So there's really not a need to bring the heavy textbooks to school. I just kept them at my house for homework and studying. So I feel like backpacks really shouldn't be that heavy. And if it is, just get a bigger backpack. No. But yeah, I'm jealous that I didn't have like a locker then. I wish we could have had it open, and now we do. So that's good for my brother and everybody else at Huntington.
Thank you, Waverly. The board always loves a student's perspective, so thank you so much. Now I would like to call up Julianne Webb. Please state your name, address, and topic.
Good evening. I'm Julianne Webb. I live at 1333 West Haven Road here in San Marino. I'm the mother of 4 children. We have a 9th grader, 10th, 9th, 7th, and 5th. And it has been wonderful to hear that the lockers have been removed. I approve of that because of a few things. Tommy was so stressed out as a 6th grader, he never had time to figure it out and was nervous about missing class or being late and then having to figure out other things. So that was number 1, time. Number 2 is the day that we did have that unfortunate incident and the children were all outside. It was extremely chaotic because some kids did not want to leave the school campus without their belongings. And I thought, how much better and safer would it have been for them to have their backpacks on while running out to the lawn? And then when the parents came to pick them up, we didn't have to come back onto the campus. And it was a little traumatizing for the kids who do need to go back and get their stuff back. They didn't want to go back yet. They wanted to stay home, stay safe with their belongings. And also, I know that kids nowadays can hide things in the lockers, and I think it's safer not to have that issue. So belongings on them. And then my children wanted me to say that they are happy the lockers are gone. And Georgia's glad she doesn't have to deal with it coming forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next up, Daisy Wilson.
Hi, I'm Daisy Wilson. My address is 922 Sycamore Drive. I am here also in favor of removing the HMS lockers. I have four kids that have gone through the schools, 1 who graduated in 2025, 2 in high school, and a 7th grader now. My 7th grader is so happy the lockers are gone. That was such a stress for him last year, not only having to learn the code, but the biggest thing was being able to go back and forth to the locker, especially after lunch. His locker was so far from the lunch court, but you weren't allowed to be in the halls during lunch, so he would have to rush there and then was always late to class. He first asked if he could carry his backpack, but there was the no backpack policy, which we understood. So he started hiding his stuff in one of the teachers' classrooms. And she emailed me on the side and she said, I'm going to let it go for a few days because I know how stressed he is trying to get to class after lunch. But after a few days, she said, we can't let this happen because then all the other kids. So he was so thrilled at the fact that the lockers are removed. And he loves just having all his stuff with him. It's like you don't have to worry about forgetting something in your locker and all of the stress of 6th grade in general anyways, with changing classes and letter grades and all the things that come with middle school. It's just nice to alleviate one of those. The other thing I wanted to add was I know in the petition, it's talking about getting the community input on removing the high school lockers. Having 2 high schoolers now and one that went all the way through, none of the kids in high school use their lockers. And I would just say, instead of getting the community input, maybe ask for the students' input, and you'll see that they would not miss the lockers at all. And it's kind of an eyesore, and it's so great here after seeing them removed. It's like night and day how much nicer the campus looks. So anyways, just wanted to put in my 2 cents. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And our final card is from Elena Wang.
Good evening, President Gill, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. De La Torre, and members of the executive team. My name is Elena Wang, and my address is 2679 East California Boulevard. For the betterment of the students of San Marino High School, IXL should not be required during our Monday homerooms. IXL's original purpose was to prepare our students for CASP. However, as of now, seniors of San Marino High School are being required to do IXL despite no longer taking this state test. Presently, claims such as ensuring our students graduate, become prepared for college, score better on tests, and IXL itself becoming a good diagnostics are all being used to justify the use of it on our high school seniors. However, the statistics that are bragged about on our school websites illustrate the capabilities of our teachers and students without IXL. Within San Marino High School, 80% of students took at least one AP class. The class of 2026 had a 100% graduation rate, and the school has a historical average of a 98% graduation rate. This was without the assistance of IXL in our high schools. Furthermore, alumni coming home from college continuously report to friends and teachers that college was easier than San Marino High School. San Marino's curriculum is rigorous, and that's for good reason. And I personally believe that its rigor is what modeled me into a better person. The amazing teachers of San Marino deserve to be entrusted with deciding whether or not IXL should be a good fit for their curriculum. San Marino High School already has a program that prepares us well for college, better than what IXL has proven so far. With a 99.5% in 2023 and to 2022 and a 97.11% in 2024 to 2025, our college graduation rates are more than enough to prove this fact. The results that San Marino students have continuously shown because of their teachers is what proves their ability and skill. Additionally, using IXL as a diagnostic will fail, and history repeats after all. NWAA is a representation of what IXL will become. Seniors do not have an incentive for IXL, and this is proven by the petition released within San Maria High School that has currently gained about 120 signatures over the past 2 days. And I would like to mention, because of former statements, that I was the person who made it, first of all. Second of all, I have checked the signatures over and over for the past 2 days. I have seen no one who has not been part of the student body. That is around, if not more, than half of the 2027 graduating class. Because IXL is in such a poor light among the students, it will not succeed as a diagnostic and would instead be a time, money, and effort waster going towards sloppy and useless data. Finally, one of the lasting purposes of homeroom was to be able to have a period of leniency for students who have athletics and a study period for students who may not. However, now students with athletics may develop makeup work coming from a homeroom class. Not just any additional periods they may have missed, but also homeroom. And non-athletic students will have less study time, less time to go to other classes to ask questions, and less time to receive tutoring from other teachers. Therefore, I'd like to first thank you for letting me voice my opinion, and I hope the proofs I have given explains my position and sways you against the mandatory use of IXL. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, the right people are in the room to hear you tonight. Okay, thank you all for your public comments. The board really appreciates community input and take everything under advisement. Section 8, communications section. Communications from the Board of Education. We ask that each board member take no more than 3 minutes to share their communications. Mr. Chang, please.
When the school began, I attend the ice cream social and the cover. And then the next day, I also attend the Valentine first day opening. And then I attend the Valentine back to school night. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sung.
Yeah, it was a great, busy school year. You know, I get a chance to visit the first day school and the open house and the cover and Valentine, and it was such a great experience that I can see that a lot of kids. By the way, my kid already started moving out to the middle school, so it's very weird that I go into the elementary school without my kids in the elementary school. So it was kind of blessing, but I still love the school, and I committed that I'm gonna still go to the elementary school as much as possible. Just keep eye on me. So, so I'm gonna do that. I really appreciate in the community, and I appreciate your concerns about that. As you know, I have 2 middle school in the middle school as well. So I understand your concern. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Ms. Lamb?
I also want to comment that the first week and beyond of school was very wonderful. Lots of positive energy on campus, the Carver campus, because that's where all 3 of my children attend. And it's especially special for me because 2 of my TKers are starting this year. And it was really nice to see, Barbara, it was really nice to see students, families, and staff settling back in. I also stopped by the Abysma Back to School Mixer to show support for our fellow Asian Pacific Islander School Board members and the work of organization. I attended Back to School Night at Carver, and with 3 kids, of course, all 3 Back to School nights for me happened at the same time. So we did our best to divide and conquer. With the 2 of my youngest starting TK, I want to especially thank the Carver safety team and the K Patrol, because these little humans trying to access and get to school could be very challenging. So I want to thank them for all the help that they do to help navigate our students to class safely and confidently. And as a parent, you really just notice and appreciate these little things. And lastly, I wanted to acknowledge an announcement that I will not be seeking re-election at the end of my term this year. It was not an easy decision, but with my youngest children now beginning their own journey through our schools, I feel that this is the right time for me to focus more on my family. I am incredibly grateful for the opportunity to have served this community the last 4 years. Public service has become especially meaningful to me, and while I don't know what form that may take in the future, San Marino is our home, and I know I'll continue to stay very involved. And I'm not done yet. I am still here, and I still have several months left, and I'm looking forward to continuing the good work that the community has for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Ryan?
Thank you. First of all, I just want to start with thanking all of our speakers for coming forth. It's not often that the board hears your support, and I really appreciate all of the voices and hearing everyone's concern or feedback. And so I welcome and hope you guys will continue to stay very engaged, as I know you guys will. And so I want to thank you, first of all, for coming. Yes, the school year has begun really well in terms of all of our back to school events. Back to school breakfast for our faculty and staff was well attended. Carver and Valentine socials. Yes, I made each one, Stuart. PTA volunteer fair. Carver new family orientation. Southern California, we hosted a back to school mixer, and we had invited Mike Fong, who is our assembly member, and Senator Sasha Renee Perez to come and speak with us on behalf of what their work is in the assembly as well as in the Senate. HMS, the new family, I was there to greet the new families and then also to hear all of the exciting things that were happening at HMS. Valentine and Carver back to school night. It was very well attended by all the parents. And then, of course, I continue to volunteer at Huntington Hospital on the weekends. So with that, I will turn it over to President Gill.
Thank you so much. I would just like to welcome everybody back. I mean, we were last here the night before the first day of school, and that seems like it was about 6 months ago already. It's been a long 2 weeks, but I think everything is getting shaken out, and all the systems are working smoother now. I know my kids, their schedules are set, and it's nice to settle back into that school routine. I'd like to thank staff for all the hard work they put in over the summer to get the schools up and going. Seemed like without a hitch, at least not what we heard about. So We're really thankful for all the time that you put in. They don't get the summer off, like our teachers, so we really appreciate them. Thank you to the teachers, staff, everybody, the lunch ladies who are doing their best to get those lines moving. I know they are, as Mrs. Coda nods along. Everyone's just doing their best, and I think it's important that we give each other grace, that we realize, in our hearts, we want to do the best thing for each of our families, for our schools. And, people have different ways of going about getting that done. So I think that if we give each other some grace and appreciate that each person is pitching in so much, we can get a lot farther. So I'd like to just turn it over to our new student board member, Vanessa Estrada. I think that Dr. Wolf may be introducing her. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm actually filling in for Mr. Kerr on this, so I'm going to read what he wrote about Vanessa. Good evening, Board President Gill, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Delatorre, and members of Cabinet. It is my honor to introduce Vanessa Estrada tonight. Ms. Estrada has attended San Marino School since transitional kindergarten at Carver Elementary. She is now a junior at San Marino High School. I have known Vanessa since her 6th grade year when I coordinated web at HMS. I've also had the privilege of knowing her older sister, Sophia, who graduated from the high school in 2024. Sophia was one of my editors of the HMS yearbook and continued to do yearbook at SMHS. She was one of my yearbook editors her senior year. Vanessa is very involved in our school life. She is the flag football junior captain, the publicity commissioner for Habitat for Humanity Club, a second-year ASB officer. She joined as the social media commissioner and is now the student member of the School Board of Education and doubles up as ICC president and social media commissioner. Outside of school, Vanessa is involved in 2 organizations. She coaches soccer with a women's leadership organization, Women's Coaching Alliance. She was a pioneer in this program, joining her freshman year in their establishment in Los Angeles. She is now starting her 3rd season coaching youth soccer. Through coaching, she tells me she has learned leadership, communication, and organizational skills. Vanessa is also starting a San Marino chapter of a food bank nonprofit partnership with Union Station Homeless Services. This nonprofit is called Safe Bite Union and provides food free of the top 9 allergens, making food more accessible for those with dietary restrictions. When Vanessa has free time, she values being grounded. Now, I think he means something totally different than what that meant when I was her age. She enjoys the outdoors and going on hikes and also her fitness routine. Vanessa also enjoys her time in the kitchen, either baking or cooking and experimenting with new recipes. Her favorite item to bake right now is banana bread. Vanessa is extremely hardworking and a strong member of the ASB team. I know I can count on Vanessa to always complete her work, provide good feedback in our many discussions, and to always take initiative and help other ASB members as needed. I know Vanessa will be an outstanding member of this board and will provide valuable feedback to the Board of Education while representing all SMUSD students. Congratulations, Vanessa.
Thank you, Dr. Wolf. It's really my honor to be here representing the students of our district, so thank you so much for this opportunity. Like said before, Carver and Valentine had their ice cream socials. They also both had their back to school night, Carver on August 20th and Valentine on August 19th. Huntington has their back to school night this Thursday on the 27th. For San Marino High School, we kicked off our year with the first day of school assembly, which was presented by ASB. The Link Crew leaders also had a very successful first day. San Marino had about 60 new transfers in total, both from the freshman class and new district students. And on Friday, August 14th, the senior class of 2027 had their first event together, which was their senior breakfast. And this was themed of the Bayou, which is what their grad night is going to be this year. ASB had our annual retreat. We went to Palomar Christian Conference Center up in the Palomar Mountains near San Diego. We spent our whole weekend doing activities outside. We were ziplining at the archery range, going on hikes together. We did numerous bonding activities that really brought our group together and allowed us to mold as a new team. We also started planning our homecoming, coronation, fall assembly, and Winterfest. And this past weekend, marching band also had their first showcase. Yesterday, on Monday, the girls flag football team had a very unique opportunity. We had a field trip to SoFi Stadium for the Rams Media Day. We were actually invited, thanks to our new coach, David Basulto, and we got to learn how to present ourselves both on the field and off the field and how to really make a brand for ourselves that we want to be known for. We also got to meet many flag football teams and football teams in the area, which I think was a really cool opportunity. We went to go play later that night in Claremont, and we won our first game 6-8, which was a good victory for us. And on the topic of football, our boys team has their first home game against LaSalle this Friday at 7 o'clock. They've put in a lot of hard work this year, also with the new coaching staff, so they really want to secure this win. And ASB is doing our part to make sure we have a very spirited student section, and we hope everyone comes out. Thank you.
Thank you. And I do want to mention they won 55-0.
Oh, yes, they did.
It was quite the blowout. They did. We have some football parents here, so. Thank you so much and welcome to the board.
Thank you.
Oh, now I'd like to turn it over to Dr. De La Torre.
Yes, thank you, President Gill, members of the Board of Education, student board member, and executive team. Tonight, I have a couple things that I would like to share with the Board of Education. The United States Department of Education recently released, if you'll take one and pass it down, guidance regarding the use of educational technology in schools, with particular attention to the growing national discussion around student screen time, digital well-being, privacy, and the educational value of technology. The department emphasizes that the conversation should not be framed simply as technology versus no technology, nor should all screen time be treated equally. Instead, schools should distinguish between recreational technology use and purposeful instructional technology that supports teaching and learning. And I believe that San Marino Schools is doing that very, very well. The central message for schools is very straightforward. Technology should be a tool in service of learning, not an end in itself. Rather than evaluating technology primarily by the amount of time that students spend on screen, districts and schools should ask whether a particular technology improves learning, strengthens instruction, expands educational opportunities, and contributes to measurable student outcomes. The department also reinforces that these decisions are best made locally with meaningful input from educators and parents. The guidance recognizes several important educational benefits of technology when used intentionally. Digital tools can provide access to rigorous coursework, world languages, dual enrollment, career and technical education, tutoring, and specialized instruction. Technology can also support differentiated instruction and provide educators with timely diagnostic, formative, and summative assessment information. Importantly, assistive technologies, including text-to-speech, speech-to-text, captioning, and visual supports, can be essential for students with disabilities and other students requiring additional instructional support. So what you have before you tonight is the Dear Colleague letter that really outlines and summarizes for school districts what their new guidance is. So for our schools, the guidance suggests several important practices moving forward. That we differentiate recreational screen time from instructional technology use. Policies designed to reduce unnecessary or recreational screen exposure should not inadvertently restrict technology that provides meaningful instructional or accessibility benefits. Begin with the instructional purpose. Teachers should consider what students are expected to learn and whether technology is the most effective tool for accomplishing that objective. Avoid technology for technology's sake. Digital activities should have identifiable instructional value rather than simply replacing an effective non-digital practice. Evaluate effectiveness, not simply usage. The number of licenses, logins, and minutes of use should not be the primary measure of whether an educational technology is successful. Student learning and academic outcomes should be central. Review technology investments regularly. District and school leaders should examine whether digital programs continue to meet their intended instructional goals before renewing or expanding them. Provide professional learning. Teachers need ongoing support in determining when and how technology can strengthen instruction and when a non-digital instructional strategy may be more appropriate. Protect appropriate uses of assistive technology. Screen time policies must account for students who depend on digital tools for accessibility, accommodations, specialized instruction, or other educational needs. This guidance is particularly timely as school districts across the country examine student screen time and the appropriate role of technology and AI in classrooms. It provides a useful framework for that discussion. The goal is neither to maximize nor simply minimize technology use. The goal is to maximize its educational value while minimizing unnecessary screen exposure. And again, I believe that we are doing that at all 4 of our amazing schools. As we consider technology use within our own school here in San Marino, with our own schools, plural, this guidance reinforces the importance of being intentional and student-centered. Our decision should begin with a simple question. Does this technology meaningfully strengthen teaching, improve learning, expand opportunity, or provide a necessary support for students? If the answer is yes, technology can be an important educational tool. If the educational value cannot be demonstrated, we should reconsider whether that screen time is necessary. Ultimately, the United States Department of Education asks school districts to keep student academic outcomes at the center of technology decisions and to focus on outcomes rather than inputs. Technology should expand learning opportunities, strengthen instruction, and demonstrate educational value while maintaining the confidence and trust of parents, educators, and the broader community. I hope that each of you will take the time to read the Dear Colleague letter that was issued on August 20th. It is hot off the press, very new. Many of my counterparts haven't even had the time yet to read through this, but I do believe that it will serve to inform many of the decisions that we make going forward in this important area. And I want to take this time again to thank those of you who are serving on the AI task force. I am really excited about the work that you will be doing this year to further develop a framework for the implementation of artificial intelligence in San Marino. And I also wanted to talk about some of the things that we are doing in San Marino regarding sustainability. So I know this is a long superintendent's report, but it's really important, and I hope that you will bear with me for 1 second. Sorry. I wanted to take this opportunity tonight to just recognize 2 students. And I heard President Gill mention earlier that we are very grateful for student voice. That is really important, and it does help to inform our decisions going forward, and it certainly helps to inform the Board of Education as to where we are. So tonight, I want to take a few moments this evening to recognize 2 students and also highlight some of the work that our district is doing around environmental sustainability. At our last board meeting and tonight, we heard from 2 young people, a student at San Marino High School, whose name is Bernice Dang, and Ashley Dew, a student from another local high school, both advocating for a resolution on plastic pellets to raise awareness about the environmental effects of plastic pellets. And I appreciated hearing directly from these young people and was exceedingly impressed by their passion, advocacy, and willingness to use their voices to bring attention to an environmental issue that matters to them. And I want to publicly thank Bernice and Ashley for taking the time to address our Board of Education Student voice is really important, and their comments also provide a good opportunity for us to reflect and share some of the steps that we are taking in San Marino to reduce waste, conserve resources, and operate our schools in a more environmentally responsible manner. Our food services department has implemented several practices designed to reduce both food and material waste. We're utilizing share bins, which allow unopened and appropriate food items that students do not intend to eat to be made available to each other and other students rather than discarded. This helps reduce organic waste while also making better use of the food we purchase. We also follow an offer versus serve approach. Essentially, choose what you want and eat what you choose. Giving students greater choice helps reduce the amount of unwanted food that ends up in the waste stream. We also intentionally reduced our reliance on styrofoam and unnecessary plastics. Student meals are served on paper trays rather than styrofoam trays, and we use paper food boats rather than styrofoam clamshell containers when appropriate. Utensils are provided through dispensers rather than being individually wrapped, further reducing packaging waste. Our sustainability efforts extend beyond food services. In maintenance and operations, we use multi-purpose cleaning products whenever practical, reducing the number of different chemicals needed throughout the district. Chemical dispensing systems automatically mix products at the proper dilution levels, which reduces overuse and waste while maintaining appropriate cleaning and sanitation standards. We are also making our facilities more energy and water efficient. We've installed LED lighting, including the large and small gyms at San Marino High School, to reduce energy consumption while improving lighting efficiency. To conserve water, the district utilizes smart irrigation controllers that adjust watering based on weather conditions, as well as drip irrigation systems in appropriate landscaped areas to deliver water more efficiently. We continue to incorporate drought-tolerant landscaping, which reduces both water consumption and ongoing maintenance requirements. Additionally, we have installed dual flush touchless restroom valves, which help reduce water consumption while also lowering operating costs. As we continue implementing Measure M projects and planning for the future of our facilities, sustainability and operational efficiency will remain important considerations. These efforts are good for the environment, but they are also examples of responsible fiscal stewardship because reducing energy, water, food, chemical, and material waste ultimately helps us use our limited resources more effectively. Again, I want to thank Bernice Stang and Ashley Dew for bringing environmental sustainability to the forefront of our conversation. Their advocacy is a good reminder that our students are not simply preparing to become future leaders. They can make a meaningful difference in their communities today, and they are doing just that. And I will turn it back over to you, Board President Gill.
Thank you so much. Okay, information items, Measure M update. I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Choi to update the board on Measure M's progress and the current status. Thank you.
Thank you, President Gill, members of the board, executive team, and the San Marino community. We continue to make good progress on Measure M, and we are preparing for a board study session on September 8th at 4 p.m. here in the district boardroom. And the study session will focus on the overall Measure M program, as well as its budget, including our major Tier 1 projects at Carver, Valentine, and San Marino High School. All three major projects are still in schematic design, and at this stage, there are many moving parts, and as with any major construction program, there are some decisions to work through. As new information becomes available, we need to carefully consider available options and alternatives before making final decisions. That is an important part of the process and allows us to prepare and proceed confidently before construction begins. The study session will also give us an opportunity to see how these projects fit within the context of the overall Measure M program. The study session will allow the board to discuss these priorities and provide direction moving forward. Our Measure M board subcommittee will also once again meet on September 3rd in preparation for the study session. We also have several Measure M related items under consent and action tonight, including electrical metering services, architectural and cost estimating services to update our facilities master plan for Proposition 2 that will position the district for eligible state matching funds, as well as architectural and engineering services for 2 drop-off shade structures at Valentine Elementary School. And finally, just a reminder that our last memo newsletter was sent on August 14th and is available on the Measure M webpage. It includes updates on our new playgrounds, the high school field, temporary classrooms, as well as highlighting several non-Measure M maintenance projects, including the resurfaced Huntington Middle School blacktop, as well as the painting refresh there. Previous issues of the memo are also available on the webpage, along with an option to sign up for future updates. And with that, I would like to turn it over to Ara, who will be providing us a more detailed update on our Measure M projects.
Good evening, President Gill, trustees, Superintendent Delatorre, Cabinet, and our guests. Good evening. Yes, so I was here at the last meeting, so I got a little idea of how things go here. You guys are pretty brief, and so we'll give you a quick overview of what all we're doing for our construction projects and the Measure M program. And again, my name's Ada De La Sol. We De La Sols or De Las like to hang out together, apparently. There's a few of them. So we provided the update at the last meeting, and on the left, specifically for Carver, you can see that we just had a dirt lot. 2 weeks later, we have steel in the ground, posts in the ground, starting to construct the playground structure and shade structure. We have a few more progress photos. I know they don't look so pretty. They will look pretty when we're done, though, I promise. So just kind of showing you the area, just a broader view of it. We still have quite a bit of equipment to put in and working our way through that project, but things are going well. Valentine, so we have the same scope there as well as the temporary classrooms that we've installed, and we are working on the playground and shade as well. So here's just a few pictures, and then the 2 pictures on the right side are actually some of the renderings that the architect has prepared for the future project. Those are what we're considering our major projects. Here's a few pictures of what we have done so far. So on the left-hand side, that is inside one of the relocatable classrooms. You can see that there's furniture and technology waiting to be installed. Our IT department is currently working on that to get that completed. And I did see one of the rooms completed, and it looked pretty fancy, pretty nice, well equipped, I will say. The next picture is just the outside of the relocatables and the ramps, which are all ADA compliant requirements that we have. And then the next 2 are images of the new playground equipment and future shade structure. The high school, so we've completed the artificial turf replacement for the football field, or the main field, I should say, because not only football is played there. And then we have next is the track replacement, which will happen over the winter break. And we're trying to shorten the window of that work. And so we're shooting for 3 weeks, put 4 just as a little contingency there. But we'll work with the school site to make sure we have that all coordinated and have all of the activities that normally happen on that field scheduled and accommodated. We also installed interim classrooms. That word keeps getting me. Temporary classrooms, I will say. And so here's just some images of that. You can see again, they look very similar to the buildings at Valentine. They're exactly the same buildings, as a matter of fact, with ramps, and there's some paving that we had to put in to make it accessible. You can see there's furniture in there. And yesterday I visited a classroom and spoke with a teacher just to check in and see how things were going. No complaints. So I was happy. Good stuff there. And so back to just kind of a little bit of an explanation on timing and scheduling of the improvements at Carver and Valentine. We do have similar play equipment, not precisely the same. And we also have shade proposed for both of those, and they just had slightly different configurations. And so Carver actually was approved rather early compared to Valentine. Valentine, we made a few changes to make it exactly the same as Carver. And as of today, we have confirmation from the Division of State Architect that they will be approving the Valentine plans tomorrow. And so we will be able to proceed with that construction, and you'll see concrete going in to support all those posts that are in place, been waiting for concrete. So that'll move along nicely, and we're targeting there's a couple of special events happening next month that we're targeting a completion date for. We'll confirm, but we're targeting that. On to what we're calling the major projects, which are projects at Carver, the high school, and Valentine. And so we have presented, last time we presented just the status of the progress of design and the phases of design. We're in schematic design, and both Carver and Valentine are kind of on a similar track. We had some different things to consider at the high school. The high school has a very constrained site with one street frontage other than the athletic field on the backside, but no true access. So there's a lot of constraints there, just landlocked type issues. Plus, we're built out quite a bit on that site. There's not a lot of vacant land to build on. So as we're going through the design, we also do geotechnical studies and we do environmental studies. And through the process of those studies, we have identified, we knew about some and maybe others knew about all of them, but we've identified exactly precisely where some of the earthquake fault lines are and what technically is required by the California Geological Agency, which is to have setbacks. You can't build on top of a fault line. So we're looking and exploring at options and to ensure that the program that's required to complete this project can be accommodated, whether it be in modernization and new construction combination. We're looking at what those options are, and we'll be bringing back some options to the district for consideration, as well as costs associated with that. But we are proceeding and going through all of the steps that we need to take to ensure that we've been thorough and that the board has all the information that they need to make decisions. So this is just a little bit more about just the process, and I have that area in gray highlighted, or in gray, specifically because this is part of the schematic design process. This is the details of it, aligning the scope with expectations. We have the district priorities and we have a facilities master plan, and then any commitments we made when we were going out for the measure and bond to fulfill. And then validating the campus fit, which is what we're doing now. We've determined what we want to build, and now we're making sure it works, it fits, and we can accomplish it. And then if there are changes, such as fault lines that are discovered, then you adjust the design and you figure out how you can accommodate the program that's needed. And then we move on, after we complete schematic design, we move on to design development, construction documents, and then agency approvals. And we will be bringing a more thorough, in-depth presentation to the board in a study session on September 8th, where we'll review the overall bond program and the budgets that we have assigned to all of these projects that we've prioritized to be accomplished. We'll be looking at how we're going to approach the state agencies who approve these projects, their strategies and ways to get things done that are more likely to be approved without challenge. Plus, having a good relationship with those state agencies makes a difference. And so we're working on that. And then we will be asking the board at that time, once we've presented everything to the board, to please give us authority and approval to proceed to the design development phase. So that we all have that to look forward to. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions?
We just listen about the earthquake both. So how can we resolve the answer, which one will be we can avoid, and which line we can avoid, and then eventually we decide.
We're going to bring you back options. So you're going to end up with a map of the high school, and you're going to have lines on it that say no-go zones. This is where we can't do anything, or this is where we can modernize, but we can't build a new building. We're also going to be working with the district to identify other areas that could potentially absorb some of the program if necessary. So we're going to be presenting these options back to you. We had a meeting today with the architecture firm. We have a meeting on Thursday with the geotechnical firm who produced the documents identifying all of the hazards, hazard being earthquake fault zone. And so we're collaboratively going to bring you back options to consider, costs associated with those options for you all to be able to make some decisions with the school site administration.
So besides San Marino High School, and also we will talk about Valentine too, right?
Valentine has challenges as well. We have done geotechnical studies on both Valentine, Carver, and we did a preliminary one on San Marino High School, which resulted in a more in-depth study. So they've all had some analysis, and as you're studying them, you can find things that need, further analysis. And so we're treating them all the same. That's, you have to do a geological study. On these projects, you have to submit to the California Geological Services Department. They review to make sure you've covered everything because they have a lot of information. All of that has to be considered. So yes, Valentine is being studied just the same. And if we were to find other concerns, we would further study it.
So how soon you think for both sites we can finalize this survey, and then we can decide where is the final location for the building?
Yes. So with Valentine, I already think that we're at a point where we have some level of comfort that there isn't going to be anything else that would potentially relocate the improvements that we've presented so far. And we will be representing those on September 8th to validate that. On San Marino High School, because we found an area of concern, and the study was primarily more in depth for that particular area, as we identify other areas on campus that we're going to explore for potentially building something new, we're going to have to study that area further. So, so that's the process, and it'll all come to you. I do believe that we're going to have probably in the next, well, let's see, today is the 25th. Definitely before the 8th, we're going to have something to show to Dr. Choi and Dr. Delatorre so that they have some idea of what we're presenting on September 8th. But we will have something for you then to consider.
Is that this issue also need to be get the permit from the DSA or?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, it all
Yes.
needs to be DSA approved.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you so much. And I do encourage the community to come to the study session if you'd like to hear more in-depth information about Measure M. Dr. Choi and the team at Nolan, which includes Aura here, they have been working really hard, and there's so much that goes into it besides these pretty pictures that we see twice a month. So there's a lot of work, and the board should be presented with some recommendations on direction to move forward, I hope, on the 8th. Okay, perfect. Next, item B, 26-27, opening of school reports. I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Richter for the 26-27 opening of schools reports.
Thank you, President Gill, members of the board, student board member Estrada, Superintendent Dr. Delatorre, and Executive Cabinet. This evening, it is my pleasure to share a little bit about our 26-27 opening of schools. And this year, as shared earlier, like all other school years, demonstrated to be a very successful start to a new school year. As we recognize this success, I would be remiss if we did not recognize and acknowledge everyone that made this start of the school year so successful. It was the collective efforts and commitment of each and everyone who makes up the San Marino Unified School District community that made this possible. Try that again. There we go. Oh, it's got distorted. Okay. We're missing a slide. Okay, there we go. Okay, ask and you shall receive. On August 6th, the San Marino Unified School District kicked off our new school year by welcoming our newest classified and certificated professionals at the new professionals orientation, which was facilitated by Dr. Rose and the Human Resources Department. This day provided an opportunity for our new professionals to learn more about the San Marino Unified School District, connect with district and community leaders, and begin building relationships that will support their success throughout the school year. Our new professionals were gracefully welcomed by Board President Gill, PTA Council First Vice President Kim Sutantio, Superintendent Dr. Delatorre, district leaders, union leadership, and a few of our wonderful community partners, including the Huntington Library, Schools First Federal Credit Union, and Foothill Credit Union, along with Fidelity. Do you want to just click it for me? Voila. The following morning, August 7th, new certificated professionals participated in iReady and NWEA IXL formative assessment training, which was facilitated by Ed Services TOSA's Danielle Blatchley and Penny Roberts. This training was valuable and provided the new teachers an overview of the diagnostic assessment platforms for students in K through 5, which would be iReady, and students in grades 6 through 12, which would be NWEA, to best support individualized personal learning. So a huge thank you to Danielle and Penny, who made this morning very successful and valuable for our new teachers. On Monday, August 10th, all San Marino Unified School staff came together for a district-wide morning and afternoon of professional learning focused on asset-based approaches and school safety. Grounded in our commitment to seeing the strengths, talents, and potential in every student, the learning reinforced an important belief which is at the heart of our district, that every student's journey matters. Dr. Ara Arzumanian from Clearwell shared his powerful See the Gift framework, which challenged staff to look beyond labels, beyond assumptions and traditional measures of success, and instead recognize the strengths, gifts, and potential within every student. When students know that adults around them see their gifts, believe in their abilities, and value their individual journeys, we are best able to create the conditions for belonging, confidence, and individual growth. In the afternoon, Mr. Alon Stevie from ACT engaged our staff in an important presentation focused on school safety and workplace violence prevention, reinforcing our shared responsibility to create safe and supportive, welcoming learning environments for students and for staff members. Together, staff reflected on how our collective work can create safe, supportive, and inclusive learning environments. By focusing on both the assets that our students bring and the responsibility we share for their safety and for their well-being, we continue to strengthen a culture here in San Marino Unified in which every student has the opportunity to grow, succeed, and reach their full potential. Because, and we hear this over and over again, and we can't say it enough, every student, every journey, every day truly matters. Oh, there we go. I think we are missing a page. Kwok, the welcome back breakfast.
It's on the bottom.
Oh, it's on the bottom. Following the tradition on Tuesday, August 11th, I created these slides too, which is scary. Following the tradition on Tuesday, August 11th, all SMUSD staff were invited to the Welcome Back Breakfast. The morning included an exciting SMUSD team draft led by Dr. Rose, where our newest professionals were welcomed to their respective teams or schools, if you will, with personalized SMUSD jerseys. The morning also included a very special guest, our 2026 Teacher of the Year, Mr. Scott Barton, who shared reflections and inspiration with our staff as we begin the new school year. Following the breakfast, staff eagerly returned to their respective school sites to prepare their classrooms and welcome students and families the following morning. Now, to share a little bit more about the excitement that we experienced at our school sites, I would like to invite our outstanding principals and assistant principals to the podium, beginning first with our elementary principals, Mr. Caldwell, Ms. McAlpine, and Ms. Parison.
On up, Steve. Bad light over here. Good evening, President Gill, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. De La Torre, cabinet colleagues, and members of the community. I am pleased to share that this has been the smoothest opening of school we have experienced in my past 5 years. Our teachers returned prepared, energized, and excited to meet their new students, or at least as energized as anyone can be after returning from summer break. Our students, as they always do, came back with joy and excitement. Their smiles, enthusiasm, and eagerness to reconnect with friends and teachers have been evident from the very first moment. Our theme this year is Carver as Community. You all have stickers. We hope to see them displayed. And I cannot think of a better way to describe who we are at Carver Elementary. Our parents embody this sense of community in virtually every way imaginable. They generously give of their time, energy, talents, and resources to help to provide what I often describe as a boutique school experience in our public schools. We have had a little hot weather, right? Even in this heat, I saw our community spirit firsthand. I sent one text message to one parent asking for a little bit of additional help assembling shade structures for our students out on the blacktop. And I ended up with 3 Mr. Carvers who showed up to help. Only one of those Mr. Carvers has a current student at Carver Elementary. That says something important about our school, and that is once a pioneer, always a pioneer, right? And by the way, to help cool our students down, we have added misting stations to the playground. They are a giant, and I mean giant, hit with our students and our staff. Our year began with our traditional ice cream social. We've heard a few board members speak about that, where our PTA partnered with staff to welcome new Carver families, provide tours, and help explain the ins and outs, and perhaps a few of the do's and don'ts of life at Carver. On the first day of school, we also hosted a parent meet and greet with administration, which provided another opportunity to welcome families and strengthen relationships from the very beginning. The spirit of community was evident at both of these events, and I want to thank those of you who were able to attend and help us celebrate those events with us. At the center of everything that we do, of course, are our teachers and staff. Our grade level teams are made up of deeply committed professionals who collaborate with tremendous expertise to ensure that our students achieve at the highest levels academically, socially, and emotionally. This year, our teachers are also beginning implementation of a new science curriculum through STEM scopes, and there is genuine excitement about the opportunities that this presents for their learning. One constant for all of us, we heard this a little bit from another presenter, is that we continue to evolve and change, to learn and to grow, Carver continues to evolve as well. Our Mandarin dual language immersion program has now expanded into 3rd grade, which means we currently have 4 cohorts moving through the school. And even more remarkably, our program remains full. When we explored implementing a dual immersion, we found that that wasn't always true at some of the schools that we visited. We have also welcomed a wonderful new counselor, Ms. Estrada, who has already brought great energy and expertise to our school. We are adding speech and debate. Thank you, Dr. Richter, and to the board and everybody who is part of that. For our 4th and 5th graders, it's already becoming evident that it's a highly sought after program, and we anticipate that it will be full very quickly. And this year we opened our 4th TK classroom. We followed in Valentine's footsteps in doing that. And I have to say, Mrs. Kent is teaching that class, which is particularly meaningful to me, because when I first arrived at Carver and I met individually with every staff member, she told me that teaching TK was her dream assignment. It is wonderful to see that come full circle, and our TK team is thrilled to be growing into an even stronger and more robust team. I would be remiss if I didn't recognize our PTA. Carver's PTA is unlike any that I have ever worked with in my career. The number and quality of programs that they support are simply too extensive to list tonight. Carver's PTA is simply amazing, and it is my great privilege to work in partnership with them to provide great programs and experiences for our students. I won't talk about how much money they raise, Dr. Wolf. I'd like to share one small example of the spirit of volunteerism and support at Carver, and one that captures our parents' sense of community and commitment. On back to school night, Mrs. Parrison and I remained at Carver until 8:30 because parents were still waiting to complete the fingerprinting so they could volunteer. Thank you, Dr. Rose, for helping to arrange that. Back to school night ended at 7, just to give everybody context. We repeatedly reminded those in line that they could simply visit the district-approved facility at San Gabriel on another day. Their response time and again, as Ms. Parrison and I heard, was, "We're here, we're committed to do this, and we're happy to do this." So our list has grown. That is Carver. Our next major PTA event is tomorrow's bike rodeo beginning at 8:15. Everybody's welcome to come and attend. We're doing that in the morning to move it to a cooler part of the day. We'll see how that plays out. We're very excited that our 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders have this opportunity. Holding events like this is only possible because of the volunteerism that is so much a core part of being at Carver. We're also tremendously excited to see Measure M improvements becoming a reality. The new play structure on the east side of campus is taking shape, and now that the shade structure poles are in place, we saw pictures of just a couple of those, but they're all there now. The project feels very real to our students and families. The kids are already asking, when do we get to go? When do we get to do that? I want to express my sincere gratitude to this board, to our community, and everyone who has contributed to this work. These improvements will benefit many students for generations to come. Finally, I had an opportunity to see our preliminary CASP scores. I'm not going to talk numbers tonight, Dr. Richter. While they are not yet official, I can say that Carver continues to be a top performing elementary school. That does not happen by accident. It is the result of harmonious, caring, and deeply committed community, amazing teachers and staff, incredible students, and the most dedicated parents I've ever had the privilege of working with. That is why our theme this year is more than a slogan. Carver is community. And I could not be more excited for the year ahead. Thank you for this opportunity to share a little bit about Carver. I know Whitney's going to share some incredible things at Valentine too. And I couldn't do it all, by the way, without Mrs. Parrison. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. All right. Good evening, Board President Gill, esteemed members of the board, student board member, Dr. De La Torre, and members of the executive team. What an honor it is to be here this evening representing Valentine Elementary as we begin another exciting school year.
There's something special about the beginning of the school year. The hallways are a little brighter, classrooms are filled with possibility, and our campus once again comes alive with the energy and excitement of all of our students. At Valentine, we know that every new school year brings new opportunities to learn, to grow, to lead, and to become the very best versions of ourselves. And this year, we have chosen a simple phrase to guide us: big hearts, bold Viking leaders. These words capture who we are and, more importantly, who we want our students to become. We believe that leadership is not simply about being the loudest voice in the room or being the person at the front of the line. Leadership is about how we treat others. It's about having the courage to try something new, the resilience to keep going when things are difficult, and the compassion to recognize when someone else needs a helping hand. Our students can be strong leaders while also leading with kindness. They can have high expectations for themselves while also lifting others up along the way. That is what it means to have a big heart and a bold Viking spirit. This year is also particularly meaningful for Valentine because we are celebrating 88 years of excellence. 88 years of students walking through our gates, smiling ear to ear, 88 years of teachers inspiring young minds, and 88 years of families placing their trust in our school. In 88 years of Vikings learning, growing, and finding their place in our community. To celebrate that history, we are turning 88 on its side and embracing our double infinity symbol this year. It represents the infinite possibilities that exist for every student who enters our doors. There are no limit to what our children can learn, who they can become, or the impact that they can have on the world around them. And just as importantly, the symbol reminds us that the journey of a Viking never truly ends. The lessons our students learn here, including the friendships they make, the confidence they build, the challenges they overcome, and the values they develop, become part of who they are long after they leave our campus. And as we look at the year ahead, we are excited about the continued growth of our Valentine community. We have welcomed new staff members to our family, bringing fresh energy, new ideas, and tremendous expertise to our classroom and programs. We also continue to expand opportunities for our students beyond the traditional classroom through art, music, physical education, library, social emotional learning, intervention, and enrichment experiences. We're committed to developing the whole child. We want our students to leave Valentine as confident learners, compassionate friends, and courageous problem solvers, but also bold Viking leaders. And we know we cannot do that work alone. One of the greatest strengths of Valentine has always been our partnership with our families, including our incredible PTA. Our parents and families continue to invest their time, energy, resources into making our school stronger. Whether they're volunteering in classrooms, supporting enrichment programs, attending all of our school events, or simply encouraging their children each morning, they are an essential part of our Viking crew. This year, we're also continuing to navigate an exciting period of growth and transformation on our campus. With the new facilities and construction on the horizon, we know that there will be moments of change and adjustment and even a little disruption. But we also know that great things are happening on our campus. We're building for the future, and we are creating spaces and opportunities that will allow our students and staff to thrive for generations of Vikings to come. We know whether one member of our crew rows, we all row together. No one person moves a Viking ship forward alone. It really takes all of us. Our students, our teachers, our staff, families, administrators, our PTA, our district, and our community, rowing together in the same direction. And when we do that, we move forward. And we're moving forward this year with big hearts, and we're moving forward with bold Viking spirit. We want to believe that the possibilities for our students are truly infinite. And so we're celebrating 88 years at Valentine Elementary. I'm incredibly proud of where we have been, super grateful for where we are and excited about where we're going. So I want to thank you to our Board of Education and district leadership for your continued partnership and support. And thank you to our incredible Valentine staff for the love, dedication, and expertise that you bring to our students every single day. And of course, thank you to our families for trusting us with what matters most. I'm excited for another year at Valentine as we lead, we grow, we learn, and we row our Viking ship together. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. Up next, we have Huntington Middle School Principal Michelle Coda and Vice Principal Dr. Jeremy Adams.
Good evening, Board President Gill, members of the board, student board member, Superintendent Dr. Linda Delatorre, and members of the executive team. I'm pleased to share a few highlights from what has been an incredibly positive and energetic opening at Huntington Middle School. Our year really began the Friday before school started with our 6th grade orientation. It was terrific to see our 8th graders take on leadership roles as part of our web program and welcome our newest Foxes to campus. The transition to middle school is an important milestone, so our goal was to give students an opportunity to become comfortable with the campus, connect with one another, and begin building a sense of belonging before the first day of school. It's always a thrill to see our newest students begin to find their place at HMS. We then welcomed our staff back with a professional development day that included the HMS Fox Challenge, first annual. Staff worked in teams through a series of stations that asked them to revisit some of the principles we want at the center of our school culture, including integrity, courage, and trust. Rather than simply talking about those values, the activities gave our staff an opportunity to put them into practice. Whether it was cheering their teammates on while they attempted to shoot a three-pointer, solving an insolvable calculus problem, or guiding each other blindfolded through a maze, our staff threw themselves into each challenge with enthusiasm and humor, supported one another, took some risks, and had a lot of fun in the process. It was a meaningful way to reunite as a staff while reminding ourselves that the principles we ask our students to demonstrate are the same ones we strive to model as adults. We are also opening this year as a growing school community. Enrollment has increased, and with that growth, we've been fortunate to welcome several new teachers to HMS. We also welcomed our new assistant principal, Dr. Adams, who has incorporated himself seamlessly into our culture. He has been visible, engaged, and relationship-focused from day one. Jeremy has also become an integral part of supporting HMS and its students, even helping add tables and chairs with our night custodians to the cafeteria in order to accommodate our new 6th graders. Once our students arrived, ASB immediately brought the energy with our back-to-school assembly, including performances by cheer, a balloon pop competition between our 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, and an introduction to our clubs, hangouts, wellness program, and sports programs. This was followed by our Welcome Back Spirit Week, with dress-up days like I'm Still on Vacation Day, Zoom Day, and Adam Sandler Day, which was a favorite of staff as they took advantage of the opportunity to wear basketball shorts and baggy t-shirts to school, all in the name of school spirit. Both the Assembly and Spirit Week events gave students opportunities to celebrate their Fox pride and begin the year with a strong sense of community. We have also launched our fall athletic offerings, providing another important avenue for students to connect to HMS, develop new skills, build relationships, and represent their school. Our PTA has also played an important role in welcoming families. Annie Tang and Micah O'Mara hosted a new families meeting, answering questions both as PTA members and veteran parents of HMS students. The PTA continues to be a tremendous partner as we prepare for back to school night this Thursday. I want to especially thank our PTA president, Annie Tang, for her leadership and for all that she and our PTA do to support our students, staff, and families. We also want to recognize the successful transition away from hallway lockers this year. As many of you know, we had an emergency incident last year resulting in a school-wide evacuation. Lockers immediately came up as a clear impediment to resolving that issue. We were unable to access the campus until after the lockers had been thoroughly inspected by the police department, and students were unable to communicate with their families throughout the event due to their cell phones being in their lockers and unreachable. While reviewing the event with our safety consultants, they strongly recommended moving forward with an immediate removal of the lockers. While this was a significant change for students and staff to adapt to, we are already seeing its positive impact on campus safety, punctuality, and the ease of movement throughout our hallways. Students have shared that they appreciate being able to bring their belongings with them to class, and our teachers have overwhelmingly expressed positive feedback about the change as well. As with any new system, we are continuing to fine-tune a few details along the way, and we are very pleased to see the benefits of this transition already taking shape across campus. We're only at the beginning of the year, but there is already a palpable sense of momentum at Huntington. With new foxes, new members of our staff, an energized student body, and a community deeply invested in our students, we are excited about what lies ahead. Thank you, and go Foxes!
Thank you. Can I ask now or later? Okay, what I cannot read the.
Oh, yes.
What is the HMS awareness program? Can you?
Absolutely. So if you can see, I went a little crazy on Canva. So if you can see some of those, the three people there. So that's Rachel Israel, our school psychologist, Dr. Amy, who we poached from Carver. Thank you, Stuart. And Peijen Chen. She is our wellness counselor, our dedicated wellness therapist. And so they spoke at our back to school assembly, and those are some of the wellness offerings. So we have more intense wellness offerings with dedicated actual therapy with our therapists. So that would be Peijen or some of our MFT trainees. And then we have both our academic counselor who does sometimes shorter term counseling, and Miss Rachel, who predominantly serves our special education population. And then that was Adam Sandler Day. In the top.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and last but not least, San Marino High School, Dr. Wolf and Ms. Penalora.
Good evening again, Board President Gill, members of the board, Dr. Delatorre, and cabinet. I'm happy to come last and report on the smooth opening of the high school this year. As you know, our enrollment has continued to increase. We are over 1,000 students for the first time in a while. We had opened the year at 1,025 students. And as has been reported earlier tonight, we've had portables to help alleviate our space issues. And I'm very thankful that the portables have also allowed Kwok and his team to basically run an experiment with new technology for our teachers. So our social studies teachers that are in the portables are getting to use different presentation devices like the large smart televisions instead of projectors. So that will help for when we do move into the CTE building and we get that equipment. Our teachers will have a head start in knowing how to use it, and they're excited about that. We did open the year with this is our third year that we had a welcome back barbecue for all of our staff. And I want to thank our wonderful PTA parents for providing us with all the food that Ms. Penalora and Dr. Hill and I barbecued for everybody. We also had our usual first day of school assembly. And you can see, thanks to the wonderful talents of our students, those are actually my shoes that you see on the corner there, right? So we have a wonderful student, Genevieve Fan, who fences, gets straight A's, participates in speech and debate, and paints shoes, which, I mean, I think if she just did that business, she'd probably make $1 million. And you can see some of the pictures from our performing groups at the assembly. Our wonderful dance team, our cheerleaders, our band all performed, and our robotics team up there shooting t-shirts into the audience. We have three really big things that we're concentrating on. One, I already spoke about enrollment, but we did add 5 brand new teachers this year, plus a new counselor, plus a new counseling secretary. So in the last 2 years, the San Marino High School staff has experienced a 20% turnover, which is pretty significant for staff who hadn't changed in a while. We are getting a lot of new people, which is wonderful because we get a lot of new ideas with them, but they also get to work with our veterans. And I think it's a really good mix. And to extend that, we have 3 things that we're concentrating on this year, and all of our teachers have joined one of the 3 committees that I'll explain in a minute. Teachers put in their requests for which committee they wanted. 70% of our teachers got their first choice. The other 30% got their second choice. Nobody got their last choice. But we did want to make sure that every committee had a mix of experience levels as well as department subject area. So that's why some people had to take their second choice. However, in the long run, it won't matter because each committee will be reporting back to every department. And so everyone is going to get to hear from all 3 committees, even if they don't get to go to the committee meetings. And those 3 areas are grading reform, research-based instructional strategies, and student connections. And one of the things right off the bat this fall about grading reform is this is the first fall we've returned to campus after I asked our teachers to not give AP mandatory assignments over the summer. We have heard from not only our students and our WASC visiting team last year, but all the research that's out there on the levels of homework and assignments that you don't really get a bang for your buck for doing that, and it does have some detrimental effects on students. We really want them to enjoy their summer and to be able to have some downtime. So I look forward to hopefully in the future that becoming a district-wide policy, because I think that will carry a lot of weight and really send a message that we are valuing wellness as well as academic rigor. And then finally, of course, we've heard about the bond work beginning. There's a picture there of our new field. The paint on the field looks amazing. The graphics, I never realized how dull they had looked after 15 years or however long it had been until you see the new ones. So I hope everybody comes out this Friday night to our home game and sees the incredible new field. And then by next football season, we'll have a brand new scoreboard and the new track will be there. So it's very exciting times for San Marino athletics, and we're looking forward to a great year. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have a question. You mentioned about the 3 committee to address WASC recommendation. What they say, why they recommend for these 3?
Well, the interesting,
or we are doing not enough, or they want to emphasize what?
thank you, Mr. Chang. The interesting thing was 2 of those 3 committees I had already had planned a year ago to do this year. And coincidentally, the WASC visiting team, essentially on their own, through their 3 days that they spent at San Marino, agreed that those 2 things were important and that they weren't seeing enough at the school. And then the third one was something that we had all talked about and agreed to doing. So they had talked about, the WASC visiting team had talked about grading reform, and they had talked about the use of research-based instructional strategies in their visits to classrooms. And then the third one, the student connections, came about due to the results from the California Healthy Kids Survey.
May I follow up question for that? Is there a follow-up with WASC for those committees? Do you report back, or is it just for the next 6 years?
That's a great, I'm glad you reminded me of that. So this must have been my probably 15th WASC. I've been on both ends of it, and my issue with WASC, in fact, 25 years ago, my original doctoral dissertation was on WASC, and I decided not to do it because of some of the problems that I had with them, because there was no accountability in the system. They came, they saw, they gave you a great report, they gave you a term, they disappeared, and nobody cared what you did after that. And then 6 years later, or 3 years later, if you were unfortunate, you started writing a new report. And the one thing that I've seen in reports from high schools everywhere is that they always say there's been a change in administration, or there's been a new school board, or there's been a new superintendent. And so we scrapped all of our plans from 6 years ago, and this is what we're doing now. And everybody just accepts that. And so this year, for the very first time, the new WASC format requires us to write a follow-up report saying how we're going to proceed on their recommendations. And it was quite easy for me because I was just able to share that our teachers are working in these three committees and those were their recommendations.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that concludes the opening of schools presentation.
Thank you to all of our principals and assistant principals for your thorough report. Appreciate you all so much. Okay, now I'd like to turn it over to Assistant Principal Ms. Sarah Penalora to present the San Marino High School AP Data Update.
Thank you. Get myself prepared here. Now with my glasses too. All right. So I'm very happy to be here tonight. Good evening, Board President Gill, esteemed board members, Superintendent Dr. De La Torre, and our executive cabinet, and to all of our community watching from home. Good evening. Thank you so much for the opportunity to showcase our continued academic excellence in the San Marino Unified School District by sharing with you all of our advanced placement data from May 2026 and related information about our AP offerings and year-to-year success. I'm incredibly proud of our students and the way they continue to challenge themselves academically. We know that we have a lot of athletes as well and students who perform in our VAPA program. So we're proud of our students in all their endeavors. But their willingness to embrace challenge, work hard, and pursue excellence is truly something to celebrate. That success is also a reflection of the incredible people who surround and support them. Our teachers dedicate countless hours to preparing, challenging, and encouraging students to reach their potential. And our parents provide the support that often happens behind the scenes, helping the students navigate the demands, encouraging balance and health, and making sure they remain completely healthy, grounded, and supported along the way. So it is a privilege to see what our students are capable of when they are surrounded by a community that believes in them. We should be incredibly proud of our students, our teachers, and the families who make these achievements possible. Okay, I will begin. And do I have a, there we go. Okay, is it this one?
The right key.
Okay. Okay. All right. So San Marino High School boasts an offering of 21 advanced placement classes. This is, it's in competition with our surrounding community high schools. They offer the same, maybe a little more or fewer than we do. But as Dr. Wolf indicated, we are just over 1,000 for the first time. And some of our community high schools are much, much larger, and still we provide the academic challenges of those schools as well. So I just wanted to share with you that we have in our math department, AP Pre-Calculus, AP Calculus AB, AB Calculus BC, and AP Statistics. We also have a feeder honors, Geometry and Algebra 2. In our social sciences department, we offer AP World History and AP US History, as well as AP Government and AP Economics. In our English department, we offer AP Language and Composition and AP Literature and Composition with feeder honors classes in freshman and sophomore English. We also offer AP Spanish and AP Chinese. And in our science department, offer AP Biology, AP Chemistry, and AP Environmental Science. We also have an honors physics. Our tech and research, we have AP Computer Science, AP Seminar, and AP Research. And then for our VAPA program, AP 2D Art Design, 3D Art Design, Drawing, and then we also have AP Music Theory. And for the very first time this year, we are offering Honors Symphonic Orchestra. So that's exciting for us. And then the slide at the bottom indicates that in the last 5 years, we've been growing our AP program bit by bit, and it's something to really celebrate because each year we offer more, and each year our kids perform well, and each year our teachers are preparing them for success. Okay. This is a slide that shows you that we continue to increase in the number of exams we offer and in the students who take these exams. So, and that's quite a lot. This means that our students are taking more than one AP class. So they're taking multiple AP classes and performing very, very well. We increased by 30, and continue our trajectory upward. And I just want to remind you that this is open access. There is no gate for our students. They can come and take these classes, and they will be prepared because our teachers value them and believe in their success. They're prepared for college, as we heard some parents indicate, and our school board member, and we know that they're ready to go. But we just continue to increase and increase. Yes.
I have a quick question while we're here.
Yes.
You said there are honors feeders. Are those required, or are the APs just open if they can handle it, they take it? Is that?
Yes.
So you
yes.
don't have to take the honors.
No. No. It's suggested because then, there's the, the students will be prepared for the rigor and the expectation, but it's not necessary. And in fact, some of our teachers, let's say an sophomore English class, they'll say, "Oh, you need to go and try out." So even all of our teachers encourage our students. I didn't mean try out. You need to try it, and go for it, because we see the creativity, we see the excellence in the kids. It's not mandatory. So thank you for asking that question. So you see that we continue to just rise. Oh yes. Hi.
So as we increase the opportunity for rigor, what are the increased supports for the students?
Increased supports for the students. Well, they have AP Classroom. There's a lot of technology, and in the AP, the College Board support. There's practice exams. If you're talking about health and wellness, we have our wellness center if students get a little stressed out. But support from our teachers, our staff is. They have support from our entire community. Do you mean? Can I ask you a specific in what way support?
Yeah, so if we are increasing the opportunities for student achievement in AP, are there any student support services that are paired with that? So with elevated expectations, what are the elevated support?
I would say that the elevated support is the homeroom that we provide for the students and the smart pass that we have created for our homeroom experience. So if a student is not in an academic, any of our classes, AP or otherwise, our teachers will be able to see which students are struggling or which students need extra support. And now our teachers are inviting our students to come to extra tutoring in the classroom and to be able to retake tests and to get the support that they need.
We also have tutor.com, which is provided.
Oh yes, we have tutor.com. Mm-hmm.
Everybody's so great when they announce it, is that the more open access you have, you'll have students that have struggled, the scores will go down, et cetera, et cetera. And that hasn't been the case at San Marino, nor has it been the case of most schools that have done this. So we haven't discovered, as we've allowed more students to take these courses, our scores have actually gone up. So we haven't had struggling students or a giant need to have some form of like an intervention program to help these extra AP students, because they've been just as successful as when we were previously limiting the number of students taking classes. But the fact that our teachers can individually, 4 days a week in homeroom, call out students that are struggling specifically with Smart Pass, because that was a system that Penn started last year. Well, this year we reversed it. We used to let kids ask for the help. Sometimes kids won't. Now we have our teachers calling the kids in that need that.
Mm-hmm. And also, there's a very specific report on that. So at any time, if a student is continuing to fall below the expectation, then the question is, did the teacher invite the student to come and get the extra support? If not, then we have a talk with the teacher. If the student is refusing to come and attend what was requested, we also have an account of that as well. So we see where our system is getting improved, more and more improved every year, and our Smart Pass has improved quite a bit for our homeroom.
That's triple of other schools that we've talked to that have 3 times as many students. And that's just, it's not only a testament to their hard work, but it's a testament to the fact that the adults and the students on our campus live in a culture where they know they can change their mind. They can say, you know what, maybe I bit off more than I can chew. I don't want this many AP classes, or quite the opposite. They can say, you know, I thought about it over the summer and I really want to challenge myself with this class that I didn't originally sign up for. And we've essentially accommodated almost all of them.
So far at the wellness center, is that there's some example or statistic show since we increase the AP course and then the student have a frustration or anxiety.
She'll give you the stats on that.
The number of students that go to it has increased every year, but there's no way to really assign a correlation to AP growth to that. Although I'd say there's probably some anecdotal, information about the more stressful student schedule is the more they might be willing to take advantage of the center.
I'm also hearing that there's less stigma associated with seeking out wellness services. So kids are more likely to go into the wellness center and to speak with someone when they're stressed out. But it doesn't necessarily, as Dr. Wolf explained, correlate with increased pressure that they're experiencing at school. It could simply be that they are more open to seeing it as a service provided to them than they are, something that fills a deficit of some sort, if that makes sense.
Yes.
If I could give my opinion on the APs, I took my first one last year and passed, and now I'm taking 3 this year. And one thing for me that's just really helped is that all of the AP teachers they really want to be there and they're really passionate about their topic. I'm currently taking AP Seminar, which is one of the newest ones. And my teacher explained to us how qualified she is and just how passionate and how just the class I went into it a little bit nervous because I didn't know what to expect, but after the first day I left the room more confident and ready in my abilities. So I just think that the teachers themselves provide that support that students need.
Thank you so much. And they are passionate. They're excited about it. It's as if they say, you're in good hands with us. We know what we're doing. We know how to get you there, and come and seek us out if you need that help. So I would say that it is challenging. It is stressful. These students are basically taking college level courses in 10th grade and 11th and 12th. And even in 9th grade, we find that our 9th grade students are taking the AP and language classes. And so they are continuing to be supported. And I'm glad that you said that. We believe that as well. Thank you. This is a slide that shows us that in the last 5 years, we are hovering around the 92% pass rate. And if you don't know what the pass rate is, it is scoring on a scale of 5, a 3, 4, or 5. And what colleges will look at is that pass rate. Did you pass? And if so, then they will be able to give you credit, a college credit for whatever course you took and passed it with a high pass rate. So we continue to soar. I saw one data piece that put us at 93% for this year, and then I looked again and it took us back to 92%. But we are still in our community really at the top of our performances. There's no record of the state of California right now, how we compare data-wise, but last year when I looked, it was a good 30% or more above the California pass rate. So
platinum status, which shows how many courses students take and how many they pass, puts us in the top 5% of all high schools nationally.
Yes, which we made. So we are in the platinum for the second consecutive year in a row. So this is a breakdown of all the scores, and the little blue dots that is a test that students took that we don't offer a class for. And sometimes the students will take AP Japanese or a specific AP Physics exam, and that's their choice. I do want to tell you, though, the college's admissions counselors that we have spoken with from the San Marino Counseling Department indicate that if an AP course is offered at the school, they prefer that the students have the seat time throughout the year to learn the subject matter in depth rather than to self-study and take a lot of AP exams. So I just want to let you know what USC says.
That is interesting. So that means I noticed that we still don't have AP Physics yet, but we only offer like honor physics. But does it
Dr.
mean
Wolf.
that- yeah. Oh,
we'll be.
All right. Okay, that's good. Answer my questions.
Thank you. I'll move along. I think I'm taking too long, but the number of scores here indicate that. Let's put that down. Oh, sorry. Let me back this up. This is the breakdown of the number of students taking AP exams. If you look at the lower right corner, you can see that we have our 23 ninth graders, and then we have 188 sophomores, 169 11th graders, and 153 12th graders. So we continue. Sophomore year has increased, and specifically it's due to AP World History. AP World History is the largest exam that we have to prepare for as far as the delivery. We use all of our rooms that we can possibly use to offer that. Slide. And then this is also an AP Scholar breakdown. This shows us that we continue to increase year by year in the scholar status, and that is scholars with distinction, and it ramps up from there. So we do have a lot of students. The only one that we missed last year, we had one fewer of the AP Scholars with honors, but we increased in all the other ways that the AP scholars are recognized. And you can see right there, it's an AP scholar has a score of 3 or higher on 3 or more AP exams. And then with honors, it goes up higher than that, 4, scholar with distinction, 5, and the AP capstone diploma includes the AP seminar, which we will see you there, right? Okay. And here is what Dr. Wolf talked about. For the second year in a row, we have so many students taking our AP exams and taking our AP classes that we did perform at the highest level and earned the Platinum Award. The College Credit Report just tells all colleges and the College Board that what we are offering, and is it accessible to students, and how are they faring. So this is a report that shows that our students are becoming very successful at what we offer and how they're performing on all of the exams. And then finally, I wanted to share with you that last year we had three classes that met the 100% pass rate. This year, 17. So we're very proud. So thank you. Are there any questions?
What happened now for AP Chinese? I know the long time ago, Chinese school of San Marino, they take they let the student take, but is that right now
we do
decision right? Is that go back to high school, or they still doing a separate?
We allow the Chinese school to access our AP program, and we do give them the test if that's the question. So our AP so the Chinese school will send their students to us. We honor that. This is a San Marino community, and we allow them to take the exams.
But all the tests come to the
through
high
us,
school, right?
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Mrs.
you.
Spencer. Great things are happening at all of our schools. Okay, thank you to everyone for your presentations. We are moving on to section 10, consent section. Do I have a motion to approve the consent section 10A through 10M with the exception of taking out 10L? Wait, excuse me, this says M, but there's N here. 10A through 10N with the exception of 10L.
Move to approve.
Thank you. Second, please.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call. Mr. Chang?
Aye.
Mr. Sung?
Aye.
Ms. Lamb?
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan?
Aye.
Mrs. Strada?
Aye.
Thank you. Mrs. Gill, aye. I did that out of order, but motion carries. 11, action items. I'd like to turn it over to the Superintendent, Dr. De La Torre, for the 2026-27 Board of Education and Superintendent goal.
Thank you so much, President Ryan, members of the Board of Education, student board member, executive team. Did I say Ryan? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That was a Freudian slip. I was looking right at her in her beautiful pink suit and I was focused on her. So forgive me. President Gill, Vice President Ryan, and members of the board, executive team. I am pleased this evening to present you with the 2026-27 board goals. And to do so, I'd like to introduce, and this would have been helpful if I had this up to begin with, right? Our amazingly hardworking Board of Education, our President, Francesca Gill, our Vice President, Shelley Ryan, our Clerk, Joanna Lamb, member for 26 years. Is that correct, Mr. Chang? Is it 26 years this year? Yeah, and rising.
Yeah. Forgot to keep track of
If he's the longest serving board member in Los Angeles County, I'm going to have to check and verify that. There might be some kind of an award waiting for you on that one. And we also have, of course, our wonderful board member, Joshua Sung. So with that, I am going to be talking about the Board of Education's upcoming year goals and the process, etc. And I first want to introduce our amazing principals. We have Dr. Benjamin Wolf. We have Mrs. Michelle Coda, Huntington Middle School. We have Dr. Stuart Caldwell, Carver Elementary School, and our wonderful Whitney McAlpine, Valentine Elementary School. Our principals are very hardworking, dedicated, and they do so much for not only their schools, but the district as a whole. And I want to just say thank you because each of you has brought your heart and soul to the positions that you represent. You are all change agents. You're making positive change at your school on behalf of the Board of Education and our entire community. And you are all very student-centered. So thank you so much for the work that you do. Know that you are very highly valued and appreciated. So tonight we're going to go through again, the goals, the background and the process that was undertaken in developing these goals. Goal L, goal E, goal A, goal D. We're going to go over every single one of those goals, and then we're going to talk about the next steps in how we implement those goals. So just by way of background, on June 8th through 9th, the San Marino Unified School District Board of Education met at the Huntington Library and engaged in strategic planning and goal setting on June 8th and June 9th. On the first day, the Board of Education had the executive team provide them with updated data from last year's accomplishments, the 25-26 school year. And the superintendent facilitated the board goals development workshop. On June 9th, the second day, the Board of Education reviewed the prior year's goals along with the action plan outcomes and assessed progress. They identified current student and district needs and established their priorities for 26-27. On June 11th through the 13th, the entire leadership team engaged in strategic planning and really examined the Board of Education's goals and formulated an action plan that is site or department specific. And the action plans that the departments developed will serve to inform the work that is done at each school and within each department during the 26-27 school year. So the process that the Board of Education has implemented is comprehensive, and it's all tied together in one way, shape, or form. The board establishes the goals. The superintendent and leadership team develop the aligned action plans, and those plans guide the work that is done at each of the schools. Our principals will report their action plans to the Board of Education this fall, starting at the next meeting, and we will continue to communicate our progress through the state of the district and other board updates. Ultimately, this cycle becomes full circle when the Board of Education evaluates the superintendent based upon progress toward each of the goals it established. This process creates a clear line from board governance to district leadership to school-sided implementation and ultimately to outcomes for students. So you can see that in the month of June, at the end of each school year, the Board of Education develops their goals, the superintendent and leadership team develop the action plans, and then in August, which I'm doing today or this evening, the superintendent will present the board goals for adoption. And then in September and October, each of the principals will come forward and present their action plans to the Board of Education. And that will inform the Board of Education on how we are taking your goals and putting them into practice, making them become a reality at each of the schools. In February, we hold our State of the District Address. And this year, we're going to be inviting the entire community. We're going to reach out to our senior population and work really hard to engage more than just our parents, but our entire community in that process so they can learn more about our school district, hear our story, figure out what we're doing to advance the work of education in San Marino. And then in June, the Board of Education evaluates the superintendent to tie that all together based on the annual goals. So let's get into the actual goals that were developed by the Board of Education. There are 4 goals in keeping with our historical practices, and the 4 goals form the acronym LEAD. So L stands for the learning environments that we're creating at each of the schools. E stands for economic sustainability. A stands for awareness and partnerships. And D stands for destination readiness. So under the category of our first goal, learning environments, the Board of Education wants to ensure safe, secure, and supportive learning environments that promote student wellness and a genuine sense of belonging. Under the category of E, economic sustainability, the Board of Education wants to maintain and strengthen fiscal sustainability while making strategic investments in academic innovation and future programming. A stands for awareness and partnerships. The Board of Education wants to deepen community partnerships and expand engagement to amplify our mission and extend learning beyond the classroom. And then D stands for destination readiness. The Board of Education wants to advance student achievement and ensure every graduate is prepared for success in college, career, and beyond. Together, these 4 priorities provide a balanced framework that addresses both the immediate needs of our students and the long-term health and success of our school district. So moving on to expand more on each of these goals and to give the board a refresher on what was discussed during the strategic planning under each category. Under learning environments, we will continue to strengthen safety, wellness, belonging, staff preparedness, counseling supports, and student engagement. Under economic sustainability, we will focus on long-range financial planning and ensure that our resources, including Measure M investments, are strategically aligned with future instructional and facility needs. One of the things that the board really accentuated was the need to develop a educational master plan that aligns with our facilities master plan. And I think that that's something that is really, really important, and we're going to be working on aligning those 2 things going forward. Under awareness and partnerships, we will continue to strengthen communication and deepen relationships with our families, PTAs, and the San Marino Schools Foundation, the city, alumni, and our broader community. And under destination readiness, the Board of Education will look beyond traditional measures of achievement to examine whether our students that leave San Marino Unified with the knowledge, skills, experience, and personal strengths necessary to succeed in college, career, and life. So we will be conducting senior surveys to find out how confident our seniors are that we have provided them with all the tools necessary to be able to feel confident and ready to advance to the next stage of their life. These goals are intentionally interconnected, safe and supportive schools, responsible fiscal stewardship, strong community partnerships, and outstanding preparation for life after graduation will all contribute to the same outcome, student success. With that, I will entertain any questions that the Board of Education may have at this time.
Thank you so much. That seemed like a long time ago when we did that, but right, you know, the board was very particular about the language that we used. I think, you know, words really matter, and I think that you have beautifully translated that into the action plan, so thank you. And one thing that just I thought of looking at this, you know, destination readiness, it could be that from 3rd to 4th grade.
Yeah.
I mean, because it all is incremental until after, you know, they graduate. So I think that it's true. We need to have our students ready for that next step by the end of the year. And I think that these goals are great. Does anyone have any questions or need to add any comments to our goals?
Well, I'd like to make a comment. I feel this presentation is very good. It's been, you know, with Linda leadership. I think this is the 4 year or 5 year. Is that 4 year or 5?
It's 4 years as superintendent, but I had the first year as
Yeah.
an interim,
Yeah.
so technically 5.
So I think from the last 4 year, I think gradually, you know, the between the administration and the board, I think already come out a very I think how to say, I mean very each party I think can figure out what we need. And for this year, I think it's very special. I like to honor for our board song, you know, they come out the LEAD. I think this is very creative. Oh, you? I'm sorry.
Mr. Song had the great
Yeah.
vision to go with
Yeah,
the
yeah,
acronym,
yeah.
and then I think it was a
Well, I just say that each one is very good. Okay. Maybe I have 1 minute, so I was sleeping. Yeah. Yeah.
That's okay. We're collaborative.
You know what, the reason I really appreciate this one, I also working for other organization. Some other organization I try to advocate like this, but you know some of the board members are very stubborn. They are very conservative. They are not moving. But this I think the content is very fair. You know, the board supervise oversee the school district, and we come out what we think is a priority, and then the administration also very humble to accept what our thinking, and with your administration retreat, and you really work hard, and you come out more the detail. So I think it's very good. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your feedback, and that means a lot in particular because I really feel like this is the best way to ensure that the Board of Education's governance becomes reality. And the California School Boards Association frequently addresses, you know, the relationship between boards of education and superintendents and administrators. And they talk about how the board is in charge and oversees governance for the school district, and the administrators implement the vision and bring it to fruition. So you are the what and we're the how. And I think that the process that we currently have in place really serves to exemplify that. And I think that we have been able to move the needle in San Marino in a very systematic way because of the process that the board has implemented. And when you hold a superintendent accountable for implementing the board's vision, it really serves its purpose. And so I think that every single administrator working for the school district is aligned with the board's goals. And that is powerful. It's very powerful. Not every school district does that. But I'm very proud of the work that our administrators are doing and that our directors are doing to advance the board's vision. So thank you for your support as a Board of Education. We could not do it without your support. And I have to say that the team that is sitting in this room is the best team that I have seen in the 38 years that I have served this community. The absolute creme de la creme of administrators, and every single one of them cares deeply about students. And you heard Dr. Richter say it earlier, every student's journey matters. And I know the board believes that, and you live by that, and that is very powerful. That really allows us to remain aligned and do the work that needs to get done in order to make sure that every child in our school district receives the absolute best experience that they can. And that makes a difference in countless students' lives. And that's really what we're all about. And that gives us energy to wake up in the morning and come to work and do the work that we do every day. So thank you. And thank you, team.
Yes, I knew we were onto something when I saw the light in Mr. Chang's eyes after 26 years. He was so excited about these, which, you know, just, it makes all of us very excited too. So with that, is there a motion to approve the 2026-27 Board of Education and Superintendent goals?
Move to approve.
Thank you, Ms. Lamb. Second, please.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Sung. Roll call, Mr. Chang?
Aye.
Mr. Sung?
Aye.
Ms. Lamb?
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan?
Aye.
Mrs. Gill, aye. And Student Board Member Estrada?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Now we have some work to do.
Well, we do a lot of work to do, and we're up for it, right?
Now I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Choi for approval of change order number 540-26 between San Marino Unified School District and Zoom Recreation for the expanded play area, pour-in-place rubber surfacing at Carver Elementary.
Thank you, President Gill, members of the board, student board member Estrada, and executive team. Item 11B is an action item for the approval of change order number 540-26 with Zoom Recreation for additional playground surfacing at Carver Elementary School. The change order is $34,183.60 to add approximately 1,100 square feet of rubber safety surfacing to the expanded play area. The additional surfacing was not included in the original proposal, but is necessary to ensure the entire play area meets DSA safety and accessibility requirements. The work includes the required base, pour-in-place rubber safety surfacing, and a color wave graphic design. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve this change order to satisfy the DSA safety and accessibility requirements.
I have a question.
Yes.
You know, in the design drawings, it showed the rubberized footing with the design. Why was that not included initially?
So this change order is very specific in enlarging that space.
Oh, okay.
Because DSA requires that there's testing involved where if
far
a
you
student
can
were to
fall.
fall,
Mhm.
yeah, how far that student could potentially fall. It is one of the requirements to ensure that that rubberized surface is large enough to provide
So
this.
it wasn't that there wasn't any rubberized surface
Correct.
included. Okay.
Correct. This is just additional.
I just visualize the kid bouncing.
I
his
know, right?
feet.
Yes.
Well,
Now we can slide. We can stay.
Are there any other questions? Thank you, Ara. If not, is there a motion to approve the change order 540-26 between San Marino Unified School District and Zoom Recreation, Inc. for expanded play area, pour-in-place rubber surfacing at Carver Elementary School?
I move to approve.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, Mr. Chang,
Aye.
Mr. Sung,
Aye.
Ms. Lamb,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan,
Aye.
Mrs. Gill, aye, and Student Board Member Estrada.
Aye.
Thank you. I just want to say you can leave anytime if you need to get out because of homework or whatever. Yeah, don't be shy. Just take care of what you need to take care of. Back to Dr. Choi for the approval of the agreement between San Marino Unified School District and LPA Inc. for Facilities Master Plan Update Services.
Thank you again, President Gill, members of the board, Student Board Member Estrada, and executive team. This item is for approval of an agreement with LPA to update the district's facilities master plan. As a reminder, the board adopted our current facilities master plan in July of 2024. And since then, California voters approved Proposition 2, which provides additional state funding for school facilities. To access the funding through the state school facilities program, districts are now required to have a facilities master plan that incorporates 9 specific components established by the Office of Public School Construction. LPA will update our existing plan to incorporate these new requirements, including our facility inventory, enrollment projections, capital planning and budgets, and alignment with the district's LCAP. The scope also includes updating project cost estimates and developing an interactive scenario planning tool that will help us evaluate future projects, costs, timelines, and available funding. This will be particularly useful as we consider how Measure M projects may be coordinated with potential state matching funds. Finally, LPA will work with district leadership and present updated information to the board. And the total cost is $48,000 utilizing Measure M funds. And it is recommended that the board approve the agreement with LPA for the facilities master plan update services.
Thank you, Dr. Choi. I appreciate taking this out of consent and putting it into action in that 48,000 looks like a large line item, but there's a lot of work that goes into that. And I think your explanation is really helpful to the community and to the board. So thank you.
So Stephen, potentially we are eligible for what, 22 million in additional funds? Is that what I understood from last time? And where are we in the lineup in terms of the wait list for that?
I'll let Ara elaborate on some of those.
So I've been working with our funding consultant on updating our eligibility. So depending on if we have growth or not, we can update it with the state, and we're working through that process right now. They went through an initial review of what our eligibility is, but until we have that confirmed, the numbers are, could fluctuate. Another thing that we're looking at is based on the preliminary analysis, they have, they're showing eligibility for the elementary and middle schools and not necessarily for the high school right now. So we're looking at other opportunities and grants that we can apply for. Dr. Troy and I spoke earlier, CTE grants, and there's some strategies that we can utilize for modernization and new construction. Even if you're demolishing buildings and building new buildings, whatever you demolish and you rebuild new is considered a modernization. Anything beyond that can be construction. And by grouping those together, you can get additional site funds for new construction. So it's all a little complicated, but right now we're going through the process of updating our eligibility, and then we can bring that to you possibly at the September 8th board meeting. We can give you an update on that.
So this is necessary in order for us to move forward.
Correct. So we have to, in order for us to submit a funding application to the Office of Public School Construction, one of the boxes that needs to be checked is an updated facilities master plan with the 9 items that Dr. Choi described. Otherwise, they won't even consider our application.
LPA will do that work.
LPA is the most familiar architect. They've prepared our original master plan, which is why we're having them prepare the update. If we were to have another architect attempt to update it, it would probably cost us a lot more just because of the team that we're getting on this project. It is the team that worked on your original master plan, which will benefit the district quite a bit.
And what's the timing for all of this to take place?
So it's a lot of data we have to put together. So I'm sure if I was able to produce all the data and give it to LPA tomorrow, it would be, you know, a month and a half. But we have to collect all this data, and I don't know the status of where this information all lives right now. So some of it may be me going back to historical documents, counting classrooms, doing square footages, those type of things. So there's some, so I would say probably a few months, maybe before the end of the year. I would expect us to have at least a update to you and maybe adopt it at the end of the year or the beginning of the next fiscal or calendar year.
But they're prepared to start as soon as they have all the contract and the information.
Correct. Yeah. So there's work that they're going to be doing while I'm doing work. And then we have an estimator working on it, which was the other contract. So we can all be working on it at the same time, just different aspects of it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Okay, if not, is there a motion to, thank you so much. Is there a motion to approve the agreement between San Marino Unified School District and LPA Inc. for Facilities Master Plan Update Services?
So moved.
Thank you, Mrs. Ryan.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Chang. Roll call, please. Mr. Chang?
Aye.
Mr. Sung?
Aye.
Ms. Lamb?
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan?
Aye.
Mrs. Gill, aye. And with that, Dr. Choi, that's all you have, right? Okay. And item 12, board superintendent discussion items. Do you have anything for us?
No, not this evening. I think I talked quite enough.
Well, thank you everyone for all the wonderful community input this evening and for all of your hard work. And with that, I will adjourn the meeting at 9:31. Thank you.
Thank you.